Sure. Okay. We got officials? Okay. And there are times during the broadcast where I will literally check like Twitter or my phone just to make sure I didn't screw something up. And somebody texts me, "Hey, dummy, you said this wrong," or something along those lines. So occasionally the broadcast will change.
Indiana would like to encourage you as a supporter of the local team and Indiana's team to consider giving back to the game we all love. Indiana currently has a shortage of licensed soccer referees around our state. We want to encourage you to give back to youth and help develop the next boys or girls in blue. Learn more about how to sign up, get licensed, and support your local soccer community. Learn more. SoccerIndiana.org. Get yourself in today. Give back to the beautiful game. Indy 11 shop has new items each day. You can pick these up at the merch stand located behind the BYB and the 10th display of the video board. And attention motorcycle owners and enthusiasts, Indy 11 is hosting the first ever bike night, Saturday, April 30th versus Hartford at 11. Register now to get a game ticket along with a one-of-a-kind commemorative scarf, all support of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We need you to roll on down to the bike starting at 4 p.m. for tailgating festivities and to show them that shiny bike, getting ready for the warmer days ahead. Learn more. Indy11.com.
Ronaldo Damas was their leading scorer last year.
Now he's a Swede.
See.
The Danes and the Swedes, the Danes don't like the Swedes.
I know, there's a rivalry there.
Well, it's because there was a, I don't know if it's still there, there was a no alcohol rule in Sweden. So on the weekends, they would come down to Copenhagen and just trash the place and they go home. Supervising. This is quality control right here.
Consulting.
The officials for tonight's match, Emilio Aragini, Mike Anderson, Ethan Hughes, and Emil Netsala. Let's make the starting lineup for tonight's visitors from Orange County SC. 80 goal, number 1, Patrick Rakotsky. Number 3, Alex Villanueva. 7, Balan Ilansky. 8, Seth Kasipli. 9, Eric Torres. The captain is 12, Daniel Peterson. 13, Tommy McKay.
Not related to Niall McKay, by the way. They're not a relation. Maybe
that is such a unique name.
Maybe very, very distant.
They have to be at some level genetically. You do that.
I pointed that out on the softball broadcast today. Butler starting pitcher is windy. It is sunny for now. There is weather on the way. We hope it holds off until after 7:30 or 8 o'clock tonight. The defending league champs in Orange County make their first ever visit to Indianapolis. We're thrilled to have it for you here on My Indy TV and ESPN+. Alongside Brad Hunter, Greg Rakestraw is my name. Thank you so much for joining us. In the Indy 11 are certainly going in the right directions. It's easy to find the trend here. 2 losses, followed by 2 draws, and now 2 victories, and they're looking for 3 wins and 3 points tonight. Brad, let's take a look back, though, at last week. Lots to like. A 2-1 victory against Atlanta United, too.
Yeah, absolutely. You take a look at that first goal, and just a brilliant ball from Nicky Law, put past the keeper, and then things got a little bit crazy as Atlanta equaled the score, and then just some late-game heroics.
What really impressed me was the way that Indy simply took off. After Atlanta equalized in the 68th minute, Indy dominated the last 25 minutes of the match with the Aries Briggs game winner.
Yeah, and the part with it, too, that was so important was they kept that energy after hitting the post, after a blown PK call. You had all the reason to abort the energy. They stayed with it. They pulled out the 3.
Now, with that, let's focus on the opposing team in terms of Orange County. Again, they were, to some degree, the surprise champions of the league last year. Got hot at the right time, made a great playoff run, capped by a victory against the Tampa Bay Rowdies down at Al Lang Stadium. They have struggled out of the gate this year. They had Open Cup soccer this week, lost 5-1 to the LA Galaxy, but they know they have the pedigree to turn it around.
Yeah, and the really difficult thing, too, is when you win a championship, you put that target on your back. You can't go anywhere. You can't have an opponent show up and not want to take the 3 points from you. So it's difficult to have that same mindset. There's only a couple clubs that have it year in and year out. Tough mental place that they're in right now. They have to start breaking through.
With that, let's go ahead and bring you our starting lineups. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. We start with the Indy 11, and the name of note, Ioze makes his first start of the season. We've seen him as a sub the last 2 weeks. Not sure if he'll go the distance, but Indy is always better when he is on the pitch.
Yeah, great to have him back. So difficult to get the ball off of, and so many great things happen when he gets touches.
On the flip side, let's go to Orange County, and the name that jumps off the page at you, well, might be a couple of them, but Eric Torres, a veteran of Major League Soccer, a guy that's found the back of the net in a lot of leagues. Orange County will count on him today.
And it's good to see the ex-Indy 11 player, Kevin Partita, arrive back at the mic.
Kevin Partita is available for selection off the bench for head coach Richard Chaplow. With that, we'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, opening kickoff of this first ever meeting between these 2 squads, Orange County, Indy 11. And it comes your way next on My Indy TV and ESPN+. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Team's about to take to the pitch again on this windy mid-spring day. A windy day in the 80s may seem like nothing for the folks in Orange County. There was snow on the ground here 6 days ago, and frankly, there is a cold front on the way in. We're kind of playing beat the clock from a weather standpoint tonight. We certainly hope it holds out where we can go the full 90 for you this evening. Let's get to our injury report brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Couple of names to report. Brian Rebion is out. We were worried about his knee injury last week being something long-term. That is not the case. He was actually questionable. He was not selected for the 18 today. The hope is we might see him as soon as Hartford next week. And Sam Brown is out due to a concussion. He left the game at halftime last week. You may or may not have caught this. Carl Wimette was actually lined up next to the fourth official at the end of last week's match. That would have been a sixth sub. There is a fourth substitution rule in the USL Championship that has been, in use since last year in terms of being able to sub someone out for a concussion injury. The Indy 11 never used it last year. Almost saw it for the first time 8 days ago.
It's a great rule. That's a great rule.
With that, let's get to our keys this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive partner of the Indy 11. And Indy, we have seen it at home especially, get out and press your opponent. They
have been so effective working this trap from Coach Lowry that they deny teams' ability to break out of their defensive third. They need to implement that tonight and disrupt anything from Orange County. Also, Layoze.
Now, last week it was Boxecution.
Right.
You've gone to inventing words and the keys. Layoze.
Layoze.
I think I know, but please explain.
Nicky Law and Ayoze are two magnificent magicians out there. The more touches they get, the more good things happen for Indy 11. It's three-dimensional chess when those two are on the field. For Orange County, the antidote, the kryptonite to a press is to keep the ball. You've seen it a couple times. You saw it with RGV, you saw it with Galaxy 2. When you can keep that ball and make Indy chase, you get them to empty the tank and then counterattack. They have to be effective in the transition game. It's the key, especially when you're on the road.
On the center of your screen, in the middle of that huddle for Orange County, is Hunter Gorski. He gets to play in a match here for the first time in 7 years. The last time he played here was with the New York Cosmos. His teammate that day, one half of Layoze, better known as Ayoze, who also spent over 100 matches with the New York Cosmos and now has on over 100 with the Indy 11. And after a knee injury, gets his first start of this year today. Jonas Feldberg will play this one back. We thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. Indy with one more home match to go this month. That is next Saturday against Hartford Athletic. Of course, this match is brought to us by your good friends at Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Goal kick coming for Patrick Rakowski in the first 30 seconds of the matchup. By the way, let's talk about the breeze. We go east-west in terms of our pitch alignment today, and in terms of kind of the fairness of playing into or against the wind behind you, the wind's going to kind of come across the field. So as you are watching, it's going to be kind of blowing into our camera positions today. So I'm not sure there's an advantage depending on which direction you go. Both teams have to deal with swirling winds throughout the course of this match. Fjellberg takes a tumble. Jonas Fjellberg, the first player from Norway to play for the Indy 11. Upended by Mikko Kaningas from Finland.
Oh, a little Scandinavian battle there.
There's going to be a lot of Northern European references on the broadcast today. Now, I can't believe I have to tell the guy that is married to someone from Denmark and played professionally in Denmark that Finland is not technically considered part of Scandinavia. That Denmark, Sweden, and Norway are Scandinavian, and Finland,
it's a cousin.
While next door is not officially Scandinavian. I didn't think we'd get into this 90 seconds in the matchup, but here we are.
Did you ever think we'd get into that?
Well, I know us, so yes, I figured that we would at some point in time. Long distance restart by Rakowski.
The things I learned from you, right, Strong.
Rakowski.
See, look at that curling run from Fjellberg. What it is it's shaping the pressure. It's letting everybody behind him know where he's going to push the ball so they can start to shrink the spaces to win the ball and set the trap.
The ball did hit the noggin of Iose, back at his feet. His 5th year with the Indy 11. And Iose takes a tumble. Late whistle, but eventually got there as McCabe. Iose may have accentuated that just a little bit. You reference the combination of Law and Iose. Those two players in terms of combined years on this earth, 70. Combined years as pros, 30. But neither one of them are showing that they are losing a step at this juncture. Ingram, a bit of a risky back pass. Opportunity here for Orange County. Cochran on the front foot, sweeps it to the side. Throw in coming for Orange County towards the 4th minute of this match.
And a good read by Cochran. One of the visual cues for an attacking player is space behind the pressing defender. And when there's that space, you can just push it and go. Cochran makes a run into that space as the covering defender to clear it out of danger.
While Cochran is not the length of pro that Iose or Law are, he is in his 9th year as a pro, is AJ. And when both Hatshaw and I have been out of the lineup, he has been wearing the captain's armband. That ball ricocheted. Well, it was trying to be sent off of Meshack Jerome, but not handled properly by Orange County. Sean Oakley, player that didn't take care of that one the way he had hoped, and Elliot Panico will get the goal kick. Young man on loan from Nashville in Major League Soccer that in the USL Championship play has played every minute of every match so far. Sometimes they'll build from the back. This time Panico elects to hit a laser to midfield. There's Oakley. Played for FC Cincinnati before Indy joined the USL Championship. Panico.
That's a great save.
Had to race out to get that one off the feet of Kaningas.
What a great read. What a great read.
Step by Ingram, the Indy native from Pike High School, gets the start today. The absence of Sam Brown. Ingram was signed by the team in February. His 1st year as a pro. Cochran.
I tell you, that sometimes that's what the press does. It does. You can sometimes win it right there on the edge of the attacking third, but sometimes you leave no options but that long ball out, and you can win it with your back line.
While Orange County plays this ball at the back, a replay of Panico's read from a moment or two ago.
Man, I love stuff. I love stuff like that. Not only is it the read being correct, it's the quickness in coming off the line and the courage to throw yourself in front of that ball.
For Indy, this is their 3rd matchup of 8 against Western Conference opposition this year. Won't see the West again for a while after today. Their next game against a Western Conference foe will be the always tough New Mexico United. Come here on race weekend, some 5 weeks from now on May 28th. Feldberg the target. Iose dropping the dime, and Kobe Henry, one of the more talked about young players in this country, races back to sweep this ball away. This portion of this match presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Wow, what great pace from Henry. Fjellberg's got some wheels on him, and he closed that down and was able to get to it first.
Kobe has the advantage of youth. He turns 18 on Tuesday.
That's unbelievable.
Went to the U.S. men's national team camp for their friendly against Bosnia and Herzegovina back in December. Did not play in that matchup. Corner coming, Iose to send it in. On the delivery, headed to the back post. Timmer could not settle. Now Law will try to do the same. Aguilera will play it left side to Iose.
Great decision by Aguilera to punch it out to Iose in space.
Aguilera's got 1 goal this year. Little give and go. Aguilera's got an opening. Great recovery. Tremendously well done by the center back. That was Henry again, just to lift that ball over the keeper and over the bar.
Absolutely great by Henry, but what a little touch, give and go at the top of the box in traffic.
Aguilera had the game tying goal against the LA Galaxy 2 back on April the 2nd. And Henry's skill set on display for the 2nd time in a minute. Iose sends it in. Looking back post, Timmer. Get the touch he wanted to on it. Ingram will settle. Here is Alex McQueen. Ball sent in. Pino the target. Pino 3 goals this year, all coming away from Michael A. Carroll Stadium. Jose couldn't slide it past the Orange County defender. And Ayo gets the throw in here in the 8th minute. Now Timmer will step up and take it.
Oh, you can't forget about that.
Ayo. Slide it past the defender into Sibley, but not out of danger just yet. Ayo, the all-time leader in assists.
Oh my goodness.
In the 11 franchise history. Aguilera using all of the toolbox here in the early stages of the match.
I think I got this ball.
We might have a play on this one. The iron unkind steered away from us. You would have had to have given it back, by the way. You can't keep it. That's just a heads up. The quality products of our friends at Select Sport America. Kjellberg couldn't slide it through. Because simply drills his own teammate on the way out of clearing it from the back line.
It's a great ball.
Fantastic ball. Torres the target. Timmer with him step for step. Here's Torres. To the edge of the 18, looking back post. McQueen got to head to it first. Pino a clearance. End-to-end action here in the early going between these two teams. Headed, Timmer.
Smart.
Smoothly plays it back to Elliot Panico.
A great ball from Elaski in the middle. We talked about the counters in transition being a key for Orange County. Elaski has it in the middle, pushes it out there to Torres just in behind Cochran.
This portion of today's match presented in part by Keystone Construction. Keystone Construction, it's more than construction. We build a vision.
Get up! Higher! Jonas, higher! Higher! Take space, go!
Beginning to reorganize here gives Orange County a moment to breathe. Because Sipley plays the long distance ball. Cochran simply sweeps it back to the midfield.
Jonas, come on, stop!
Indy has been off for 8 days since their 2-1 victory against Atlanta United 2. Orange County played US Open Cup in midweek. Of course, had to make the cross-country flight to get here as well. Indy has a couple of those coming up later in the year. They will play at San Diego in late June. They'll play at Colorado Springs in mid-June. They'll play at Monterey Bay in September. And that'll be a foul against Ingram. Torres, the player that was fouled on the play.
And that's tough. You like the physical play from Ingram, but really, if you just stay and apply that pressure to his back, you're forcing the ball back and out of a dangerous scenario.
Eric Torres once appeared in the MLS All-Star game. Had 22 goals in 44 matches for the now long-defunct Chivas USA.
Half a goal a game. Did that in my head.
Or a goal every other game, one of the two. Played with both Guadalajara and Tijuana, amongst other teams in Liga MX. On the restart, Villanueva. Panico off his line for a moment. McQueen up to the task. Cochran steers a bit further out to Sipley. Now Cochran, McCabe. At some point, someone will play it with their feet. Orange County is that team. This Orange County team began their existence as the Los Angeles Blues back in 2011. Christened Orange County in 2016. Last year, the USL champions, winning at the Tampa Bay Rowdies in the league final. Knocked out San Antonio in the Western Conference championship match. Of course, there were some eyes in Indy watching that match because at the time, the netminder Jordan Farr was the emergency signee by San Antonio, and now he is the man in goal for San Antonio. We'll talk more about Jordan and San Antonio, but how about their Open Cup victory this week?
Ridiculous.
In the local derby match against Austin FC.
They are on a tear.
We'll be cheering for Jordan for 33 matches this year. With the exception of August 27th.
I figured that out.
will be graciously welcoming him back.
What a great kid. What a great kid.
Amongst the best ever wear this uniform. Ishak Jerome, his first touch. Sends McQueen flying, but ball will trickle out of bounds for a throw-in coming for Orange County here in minute number 13. In the rare Sunday home date for the Indy 11. One of two this year. Being at home on September the 25th against Loudoun United as well.
So you referenced the LA Blues. I got an unplanned trivia question for you. What former Indy 11 goalkeeper started a game?
Opportunity here for Kaningas. Panico on the charge. Kaningas will score it.
Great finish.
And Orange County, little miscommunication at the back. Orange County pounces on it, and the visitors take a 1-goal lead 13 minutes in.
It's a great finish. If you're Indy, you hate giving up that goal.
Miko Kaningas with the goal scored. Second year with Orange County. He had 3 goals a season ago. His first tally of this campaign. Beautiful flick forward. And nothing but space and opportunity. Jerome could not catch him. Panico tried to be as big as he possibly could. How does this early goal change the tenor of this match?
This early, I don't know that it does. I still think you're going to see Indy pressing. But Orange County got rewarded for playing a direct ball and into space. You take a look at that finish, and it's a tough. Those breakaways aren't that easy against a big goalkeeper like Panico. In this scenario, he just slides it while Panico's still taking steps. And as a goalkeeper, unless your feet are planted underneath you, it's really difficult to react.
Dingus becomes the 4th different goal scorer this season for Orange County. Queen to track that down.
Man, they are looking direct. When they get that ball in the back line, they are looking, and the entire front line is checking back into that ball and looking to see if they can't bait Indy 11 backs into taking a step forward when that ball is delivered over the top.
Milan Iloski was the target that time for Orange County. We saw him last year play for Real Monarchs. He's got 2 former teammates on the bench today for Indy. In terms of Noah Powder, as well as Ari Spriggs. Both teams have had some dangerous moments in the attacking third, but it is Orange County that has converted the early chance. This was not a scenario the Indy 11 were in last week at home in terms of her trailing against Atlanta United 2. McQueen will lift it forward for Nicky Law. Throw incoming, deemed that Law touched it last. He on the USL Championship Team of the Week for his goal and his assist a week ago. Here's Rakowski. Orange County will build from the back. Immediate takeaway by the Indy 11.
And they came off of a press by Iose and Fjellberg.
Ingram with the McQueen started the run. Ingram put too much on him, immediately puts his hand up. Right idea, just too much effort on it.
And it's tough. You take a look at, you referenced the wind. I got here a little bit early. They're screwing every tent, everything down here in the stadium because it's vicious. So it's going to take a while on restarts and on balls that you're playing into space to try and figure out, what kind of weight you need to put on each ball.
Sports This Match brought to us by Bet Rivers, the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner. Cochran gives chase.
They waste no time in getting that ball forward. And it's a ball driven in. They're looking for the flick. They got runners coming off of the target.
And this is an Orange County team, while they are unfamiliar with playing the Indy 11, they're familiar with playing the style that Mark Lowry wants to play, having been the head coach of El Paso Locomotive for the last 3 seasons. So Mark has more working knowledge of Orange County than any of his players do, but Richard Chaplow kind of has a blueprint as to how you play a Mark Lowry team.
Yeah, and I tell you, I think at this level, when you start looking at coaching and players, You got to believe that through the video work that they do, nobody's coming in and being surprised by anybody, unless there's some last-minute tweak or shift that you're unprepared for. But you figure that out as soon as you see it the first time.
It's like every match is available on ESPN Plus that you could go watch at any point in time.
That is true. That is true.
Again, space to attack for Orange County. 4v4 here. Now Indy gets some more numbers behind the ball. Kasipli the target. Pino checks back to Markham. What are you seeing that's concerning if you're an Indy 11 fan? Right?
Well, I'll tell you what you just saw in this scenario, in this transition. You called it at a 4v4. They stepped on the ball a little bit to allow Indy to get back. Indy sprinted back, so you love the discipline defensively.
All set in, Panico with the read.
But you don't lose sight of the fact that you're spilling a lot of fuel in those recovery moments.
Kaninga sent that one in, but Panico had a good read on it from the start. Elliott will take some time and let some numbers trickle forward. McQueen takes a tumble and draws a whistle.
Then you saw Panico holding that ball for a little bit, letting his team walk up. That's so important too when you're a bit of a pressing team, and that you're not expecting the guys to sprint forward. You give them a little bit of time to catch their breath, recover a bit as they get into position, then you deliver the ball. Today's
Sunday matchup has a national stage. The game is being broadcast on ESPN Deportes. The championship returns to ESPN2 in 3 weeks when Tampa Bay and Phoenix get together. That is an official get your popcorn ready sort of match. Sunday, May 15th, 9 o'clock on ESPN2. Players stumbled behind the play. That was Feldberg that got clipped by Gorski, I believe. And Jonas is still just now kind of getting to his feet.
I'll tell you, the tough part when you're a pressing team, if you're not rewarded for it, or if you go down, you know, you've lost a bit of energy.
Panico didn't get it clearly. There was the offside flag was up, so the play stops right there.
And then you take a look, and we've got unusually warm weather here today. You referenced it early on.
You really have had 1 day, maybe 2, to train at this level throughout the course of the season. Oakley was deemed to be offside. It wasn't goaltender interference or goalkeeper interference. It was the offside flag going up.
I'll tell you, Oakley is a handful. Holy smokes.
Scored 16 goals 6 years ago for FC Cincinnati in USL Championship play. Jose gives chase. Rakowski swept that away quickly. There's one other match being played today. It has gone final. Birmingham Legion, it's Loudoun United, on a score of 2 goals to 1. Feldberg let that run through, hoping Pino could latch on to it. He could not. And the song remains the same for Orange County, hit and hope. Oakley able to track it down. Jerome goes down. No help for Oakley. Panico closes the window. Jerome now down behind the play, and Indy will play it to the side as Jerome grasping at an ankle behind the play. And immediately, Carl Wilmette and Neville Hackshaw looking to loosen for the Indy 11. The trainer now officially being waved on for Indy.
Hey, you talked about hit it and hope. There's not much hope. If it's working, you just keep going with it.
Meshach Jerome has played now at 3 different stops for Mark Lowry. He has played every minute of every match this year and just took a wrong step, which freed up Oakley to give chase.
Oh, yeah, look, it just came down. Came down too hard.
Rolled that ankle. Meshach, the first player from Haiti to play for the Indy 11. Now his 13th year playing professionally here in the States.
I'll tell you what, Indy dodged a bullet that he decided to shoot that ball instead of laying it off to a couple of the runners for Orange County that were trailing at the top of the box. Otherwise, this is a 2-0 ball game.
Again, while you don't want to see Mishak leave because he's one of the best players on your team, and Mark Lowry will tell you he feels he's one of the best center backs in all of North American soccer, it is rare the team that could look at Carl Wimet or Neviel Hackshaw and say, hey, can you go in and spell Mishak Jerome? And Neviel is back. We have not seen Neviel play since mid-March for the Indy 11. He went to go play for Trinidad and Tobago during the international window in late March. It took him a while to be able to kind of get back into the country. Rejoined the team in training about 10 days ago. Was not available in the 18 last Saturday, but they knew he'd be available if necessary today, and that, if necessary, might be sooner than expected.
Well, you talk about, Lowry's appreciation for Mishak Jerome, and one of the things that you see, it's never going to show up on a stat sheet, is he knows where everybody is. He knows where the opposing runners are, and he knows where his support is. And you watch a ball that whips across the back line, like Timmer and Cochran knocking the ball to Mishak. He knows where his teammates are, and he'll let it go, or he helps it on. He knows where the pressure's coming from, so he knows when to step in and touch it and when to leave it. It's impressive. You
saw the international symbol for, hey, Mishak's done. You saw the immediate Ioze rolling the fingers over, and it will be Neviel Hackshaw. We'll talk more about Neviel in a moment. First, this for our friends at IMCU. Show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online now at imcu.com. So with that, Neviel Hackshaw will come in, and Neviel really has kind of shifted to more of a midfielder role for the team, but yet they will bring him in, and what will he do? Go back to playing along the back line, which is what he has done for the last 3 years for the Indy 11. Neviel, first team All-League in 2019, second team All-League in 2020. Injuries, international call-ups kind of prevented him from having that sort of all-league consideration last year. And Neviel named the team captain before the season and has not played since March 19th.
Unbelievably consistent player.
And again, we mentioned the fact that he is moving to more of a midfielder role. That is what he played for the Charleston Battery for 3 seasons. This is his 7th year in the USL Championship. So again, we had hoped we would see Neviel today, not in this scenario in the 25th minute. Coming in for Mishak Jerome, and you hear the immediate reaction of the BYB. Welcoming Neviel back to the pitch, and every sub in today's match. Presented by our friends at Jiffy Lube of Indiana.
So you take a look, and Neviel goes back to his traditional outside left back. Timmer pops into the middle where Mishak was. And I like the way that Hackshaw gets forward out of this spot. I think it causes problems for opposing teams.
Well, we've got 3 years of data that says Hackshaw and Ioze have a pretty good combination playing together. And to give you the experience that Hackshaw has, played the turf bounces exceedingly well. Who was his first pass to? Ioze. McCabe steps in front of that one. And now Timmer will have to adjust roles. And we've spent time talking about Hackshaw. Let's talk about Jared Timmer. He's been playing outside more this year, but we've seen him play holding mid. We've seen him play center back and a back three. How does this change Timmer's game, moving to more of an interior position?
For him, he's probably going to have to sit home a little bit more and deal with these direct balls that are over the top. But what a luxury that he gives you, that when somebody goes down, he can play any number of spots.
I literally remember Paul Snape saying he could play any one of 11 spots on the field in his days at Butler. We're finding that out about Jared Timmer right now.
I'll bet you if you open up Timmer's backpack on the bench, there's a pair of goalie gloves in there.
Oh, poked away. Great tackle by Cochran. Oakley couldn't win it back from Aguilera. Ioze takes a tumble. There's all of that level of experience for Io. Draws the foul, draws the ire of Oakley, but it is a whistle in favor of the home team in the 26th minute.
And I'll tell you, Oakley is so big, so fast, so strong, and Ioze reads it. He's coming in full steam. Just give me a little touch. I'm going down. I'll get the whistle. We'll have a restart. Smart play, Rakestraw. That is smart soccer, Mr. Rakestraw.
Io having played with three different teams for over 100 matches. Looking back post. Ball gets through. The 11 player takes a tumble. Lowry asked for a whistle, will not get it. Fjellberg trying to carve out space, couldn't get there. Ingram does. Here's Aguilera. Ingram sizing up his options. Redirects to Nicky Law.
Move it! Move it!
Queen, the overlapping run. Villanueva got there first, played it sideways, and did keep it shy of the corner flag. This reminder, Fan Soccer Saturday, heard every Saturday morning on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Want to thank Mark Lowry. Want to thank Ari Spriggs and Nicky Law for joining us on the program this week. Next week, we will tell you about the Indy 11 W League roster. That gets announced on Monday. Team CEO Greg Stremlaw will join the show. Coming up this week on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Io couldn't grow to get that one. Kaningas will restart here for Orange County. Or he won't.
That is actually play-by-play that you're doing.
It is the job title. Hear the wind starting to whip up again. And we know there is rain on the way. We're just hopeful that we can get through 90 minutes of this match before it does.
What a touch.
Aguilera for Pino. Pino looking for Fjellberg, and Kobe Henry, he's been fantastic. Pino tracks it down. Fjellberg looking to make the turn, but was in an offside position.
I mean, yes, offsides, but what a touch and what a turn with a defender draped on your back.
Again, we have now seen, and we'll see more of Manuel Arteaga being worked in. Obviously, when we get to May, Solomon Asante joins the mix here.
Don't even start with me. But
it has been Fjellberg and Pino that have been the tandem up top for most of the season. What are you seeing in terms of the relationship that those two are starting to develop?
Oh, I love the way they play off each other. I think Fjellberg does a great job of being that guy that pops out wide, draws a little bit of traffic to him, is able to turn, get to the end line, and look to slot it over. And Pino, just 31 years of knowing exactly where to be inside the box.
Pino just 1 goal last year in Austin. 3 this year for the Indy 11, looking for his first home tally. Couldn't chest that one down, and the wind again really picking up as that ball moved back about 10 yards closer to goal. Great play by Ingram to avoid the foul on Kaningas and maintain possession.
It's one of the things I love about Ingram. You get everything in the tank.
Like 2 years at Virginia, then transferred to Loyola of Maryland. Third player in the 9-year history of the Indy 11 to hail from Marion County, the home county of the Indy 11 for those watching from outside of Indianapolis. Didn't play high school soccer, played academy soccer, but attended Pike High School.
Yeah, you're going to be talking about Indiana High School. I'll give you one. This North Central graduate was 7th overall pick by the LA Clippers. Here's your first Orange County, Indianapolis trivia question of the day.
Be Eric Gordon, correct?
Okay, scratch that one. That didn't go well.
2007 Indiana Mr. Basketball. Still playing in the NBA, by the way, in his 14th season. You do know that in addition to broadcasting Indy 11 soccer, I do in excess of like 70 high school basketball games a year.
I think you do literally, when I go home from the game, I think I hear you on 3 different stations on my drive home.
That's because I programmed it that way. This match brought to us by Keystone Construction. Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. We build a vision.
I think I got one trivia question that'll stop you today. I'm going to say it. That'll be my last one.
You usually do.
That'll be my last one.
What a dime to find Pino.
Oh, my goodness. A way to bring that ball down.
Pino trying to work his way around Hunter Gorski. Again, those two guys know each other very well. Both alumni of the North American Soccer League. Gorski took it old school last year. He played for FC Edmonton in the Canadian Premier League. Of course, different league than their old destination. Foul whistle against the Indy 11. Nicky Law deemed to have committed the infraction. Fans, McGowan Insurance is a proud partner of the Indy 11. Visit McGowan, INSGRP.com for all your insurance needs.
Hey, I'm impressed with Villanueva, too. He's been doing an exceptional job on that outside back spot, jamming up that space for Nicky Law and McQueen overlapping.
It's a back 3 today for Orange County.
Yeah, that back three, all that stuff is really deceptive because you may line up in a 3-5-2, but you got your wing midfielders dropping back. You may have them sit a bit more defensively sometimes. So sometimes you got 5 in the back, sometimes it's 3.
You reference Villanueva. He is, to some degree, what this level is all about. Spent parts of the last 3 years playing for the Tacoma Defiance in the USL Championship. Made 2 appearances last year for the Seattle Sounders. He turns 20 in July.
Good night.
No!
Foul whistle against Justin Ingram. These two teams, and Indy doesn't have anybody that's as young as a Villanueva or a Henry, but both these two teams are great balances of veterans and guys that have a lot of youthful talent. Guys like Ingram, Aguilera, Fjellberg immediately come to mind from that perspective from Indy.
They've always done a good job of identifying young talent. You take a look at see that goal Raffanella scored? Holy smokes.
Playing these days for Red Bulls too. We will see him here on May 21st. Red Bulls 2 makes barring a playoff appearance, their last appearance at Carroll Stadium. Their last appearance here was a playoff match in 2019. Cochran. Before Oakley could get there. Now McQueen. Nicky Law the back heel. McQueen couldn't get the read, but ball finds its way to Aguilera. It's announced the U.S. will open up their Nations League campaign. That's going to be a foul against Orange County. I'll finish that thought. It was announced that the U.S. will open up their CONCACAF Nations League campaign on June 10th in Austin, Texas against Grenada. Why am I bringing up now? Well, that's because Alex McQueen represents Grenada in terms of his international football. That's why he missed a match in March, because he was playing international. And that, my friends, is our nugget of the match. Thanks to our friends at Impact Financial Group. We present our nugget of the match each and every week. Private wealth advisory practice from Ameriprise Financial, where you get advice worth talking about. Cochran the flick. Miss it by much. Jared Timmer, his second year with the Indy 11. He too knows this Orange County side a bit better than most. He played for Reno in their final season 2 years ago. Jose sends it in. Cochran trying to steer it on Frank. Mark Lowry, how you feeling about this right now?
Down 1, you're not feeling good about it, but you like the way that your team is playing. You've sort of negated some of the direct opportunities that Orange County has had. You'd like to see a little bit more time where you're getting the ball into the feet of your forwards or out wide to Nicky and or Ioze.
One thing that we'll add here too, expect to see Manuel Arteaga very early in the second half. Indy's leading goal scorer from last year with 10. He's been out due to a knee injury. He played off the bench about 30 seconds in the win at RGV 2 weeks ago. Played the last 25, 30 minutes against Atlanta United 2. Instantaneously created numerous scoring chances as Ioze draws the foul.
Yeah, he was fantastic. When he came in that first 10 minutes that he came in against Atlanta 2, I think 3 shots on goal. He was unbelievably dangerous, and then he was the one that plays it out to Nicky Law to free up for the game-winning goal.
They feel about he's 45 minutes fit, so you can do the math as to when Manu will likely enter the match today. Giveaway by Indy.
Tough. It's that transition counterattack game. Got to be cautious of. Oakley, so fast.
Check out the wheels on Timber, though. Won that sprint.
It's ridiculous because we talked about this last year. You don't view him as this overly pacey player, but nobody can get by him.
He was the team captain for 3 of his 5 years at Butler University. Michigan native. Great turn by Ingram.
My goodness.
Ingram has a run going here. Knocks it forward for Ioze. Ingram saying, I was held. Of course, this match brought to us by our friends, the Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. There's Torres.
Come on, Jonas. Time.
Hackshaw knocks it forward. Henry steers it back the other way. Cochran.
Oh,
It's tough.
that is tough because you just called what looked like exactly the opposite on Villanueva and gave it to Villanueva down to the other side.
And let's explain why. Cochran was behind the player and made contact. But that contact didn't happen, as you see here on the replay, until Cochran was in the air. That's why that is a, see what we mean? It wasn't like he put his hands in the back and then went up. Contact was made after Cochran was airborne. And that was the point he was trying to make to our match referee as we cut back to live action. All sent in, Panico, able to read the turf bounce.
And just enough from McQueen to hold off the runner for a bit.
It's somewhat stagnated for the Indy 11. Headed away from Iose. Danny Peterson. First time we have called his name tonight. Oakley. Back to the safety of Hunter Gorski. Hackshaw able to win that ball away from Kanigas.
Look at that.
Aguilera.
What a ball.
Ball from McQueen. McQueen the touch. Villanueva does enough. So we're very impressed by the back three for Orange County.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, too. I'm going to start throwing Aguilera in with the Law Iose stuff. The touches that he's got, the vision he's got. Holy cow, there's not many missed touches that come off of his feet.
But think about this back three for Orange County. You've got Gorski, who's a 10-year pro, playing the center back. Your two outside backs are a combined 30 or 36 years old. You got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old, and they're handling it like pros. Torres the target that time. Now the left foot slides through. Torres pokes it past, and Torres finds a goal, or he does not. It is deemed he was in an offside position. Torres will try to negotiate that it wasn't offside, but
Tell you what a finish and what a touch by Alaski to free him up. My goodness.
for a moment it was nervous about the Indy 11 being down by 2 goals, but it remains a 1-goal affair as the clouds continue to roll in and the wind continues to be brisk. Cochran did not handle that the way that Indy had hoped. What changes? I'm talking about personnel, but tactically, what do you have to do better from the Indy 11 perspective?
Well, it'll be interesting because you're going to be going into the wind now, so you're going to have to build a little bit more because the direct ball isn't going to work. Although you take a look at Orange County going against the wind has been playing so direct and been effective with it.
We'll play that ball to the safety of Elliot Panico. Already 1 sub made for the Indy 11. From an injury standpoint, Meshach Jerome having to exit. Nabil Hackshaw coming in to replace him. Take a look at the offside flag that prevented the second Orange County goal. And absolutely Torres was offside.
Look at that ball from Alaski. Oh my goodness. There is so much art in this game that has no statistic attached to it.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of half number 1, presented by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
It's incredible. You get the ball into Iose's feet, and every player in the field is available to him. Doesn't matter if he's got his back to him. Doesn't matter if he's got defenders all around him. Every player on the field he can find.
Pino and McQueen out on the same page. Again, McQueen in for Brime Rebillon. Saw Rebillon leave in the second half due to a knee injury last week. We touched on this in the very early moments of the broadcast in our Community Health Sports Medicine injury report, but Rebillon's knee injury is not long-term. We could see him back as soon as next week for Indy.
Yeah, so you ask what needs to happen. I'll tell you the one thing is what just happened right there cannot continue. You have to find the feet of the forwards. You got to be able to hold the ball and build a little bit off of it. They did. They got the ball in Pino's feet, and it was a giveaway. That ball has to be held. You've got to make Orange County defend for a little bit. You got to be able to get some numbers forward, and in order to do that, you've got to hold the ball.
Our Friends of Community Health Network, exceptional care, simply delivered. Cornerstone sponsors of the Indy 11. Now Ingram. Lofts it for Ioze. Side of the foot, pass to Fjellberg. Aguilera back to Ioze. Would think a minute, maybe two of added time before we get to halftime. Fjellberg, the long-distance target. Sipley providing pressure. Fjellberg, well done. Sipley out of there with it eventually. Oakley. Just kind of trying to get Indy on the counter. Villanueva. It's one of the first errant balls we have seen from Orange County today. That came from the foot of Tommy McCabe. Lots of options in terms of the substitutions available for Mark Lowry. Fjellberg onside. Can he get a window to shoot? Goes down foul.
There you go.
Just outside of the 18, and with Nicky Law and Ioze, you've got options available for Indy.
You put both of those players on the ball. You got a left-footed opportunity. You got a right-footed opportunity. You take a look at where that wall sets up and where the keeper is, and you trust either one of them to say, okay, that one's mine.
Now, Fjellberg has yet to get up off the turf. Let's take a look here. Foul was committed by Kobe Henry. Fjellberg trying to...
Will be a deep muscle bruise.
Saw Nicky Law hit it from just right at the top of the 18, more kind of center lined up a week ago.
This one probably plays better for Ioze with the left foot, unless that wall is misaligned, because the goalkeeper's going to slide to the far post. And you could see a replay. If the wall is in the wrong spot, the goalkeeper overplays the far post, you pick Nicky Law to go near post. Otherwise, you see if Ioze can get it up and down.
He looking to level in the 45th minute. Waiting for the whistle. Io gives it a hit. Couldn't clear the wall. That's never a bad option for Indy. Io could not clear the wall of orange in front of him. Pino the target at the edge of the 18. Hackschel. Pino heads it down. Feldberg knocks it home. Offside flag's up.
Oh my goodness.
Offside flag is up.
And Pino's down.
Feldberg deemed to be offsides on the flick. Pino face down at the edge of the 18.
What a ball.
The bumps continue to be taken by the Indy 11. So both teams now have had a goal called back because of offside. 3 minutes, by the way, is going to be our added time before halftime. Let's take a look. That's tight. Was not as clear as the previous offside against Torres.
And I tell you what, a very similar goal to what Indy 11 gave up. You catch the goalkeeper moving. If you can get them between steps, all you got to do is just slip it to the side.
Well, while Pino continues to be on the turf, it gives us more time. Not that, again, looking at the replay numerous times will change the outcome. No VAR at this level yet. We'll see if we can get another look as to, again, was Fjellberg really offside there or not? Pino kind of directing his concern towards that left shoulder. Let's take one more look. This is from ground level.
Wow, that is close.
Yeah.
I got to agree with the call, though. I think he was just a step on the side of the top of the 18, and it looked like the defenders were on the 18.
Either way, we play on. Thanks to our great Tupelo Honey crew providing those shots to us from My Indy TV or ESPN Plus. Well, it was 3 minutes. It might be more because of the injury to Pino. Tonight's game is brought to you by radical ideas like loving your enemies, your neighbors, and yourself unconditionally. Find out more at hegetsus.com.
You know, even though that got called back, don't underestimate its psychological value of seeing that ball go into the back of the net.
Fjellberg's first in the 11 uniform. In very limited games, just 8 with Rio Grande Valley last year. He scored 3 times and caught the attention of Mark Lowry. And when Mark came here, he wanted Jonas to play for the Indy 11. Ball sent in. Timmer knocks it sideways. It will be a corner. Peterson that will take said corner. Native of Denmark. Alaski lined up in front of Elliot Panico as the rain begins. Ball sent in. Panico and an open window to it. Kobe Henry trying to slow him up, and he's going to get a yellow.
Oh, Henry.
So the soon-to-be 18-year-old, that's kind of more of a veteran move, but if you get caught, you're in trouble.
Well, it was a veteran move at the start when he didn't break off of it because he had Panico kind of having to shuffle step early on, but then he found a little success with it and decided to run a little bit too long, and that's where he drew the card.
Panico told to restart. I would think 30 seconds or so left to go here in the first half. Kaningas didn't get the touch he wanted to. He's got to be quick on the intake here for Indy. Hackshaw looking for Pino. And the ball played sideways by Villanueva. It'll be an Indy 11 throw-in, and Indy recognizing kind of where they're at from a timing standpoint. Puts everybody into the box they can. They'll put 6 inside of the 18.
Get another. Wow.
All lobbed in. Foul going to be called against Indy.
Neville Hackshaw, what a throw. Holy smokes.
And I would think a restart here will just about do it for our half number 1 activity. Again, you get the build-up. You can use the track if you want to here to give you some extra
driven in
space and distance. And that's it. There's the official's whistle. We're 1 goal by Mikko Kaningas. Simply early in the half, and Indy have been chasing the game since that time. Both teams have had a goal called back because of the offside flag. Does Indy have more in the tank for half number 2? Manuel Arteaga may be a big factor behind that for the boys in blue. In this first ever meeting between these two teams, it is Indy that trails the game by a goal. Orange County 1, Indy 11-0. Stay tuned, halftime, with news around the USL Championship, Open Cup conversation, and more. It all comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. Back at halftime here at Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium. Lucas Oil, the former home of the Indy 11, in the background. Our focus will return to Indy 11 in Orange County in a matter of moments, but since this is a Sunday match, majority of the league played yesterday, let's show you the scores of note in the Eastern Conference, and let's talk about Detroit City. Their opponent in Hartford is coming this way next Saturday, but how about Trevor James? 3 straight match wins, and oh yeah, a huge Open Cup victory against the Columbus Crew earlier this week as well.
They've done nothing but win since he's got there, and I tell you, I absolutely love the pickup of Openo.
We will see Detroit City FC on July 2nd, and try not to say that word in the broadcast as much as possible. Now let's get to the standings around the USL Championship. Again, pending on what happens during this match, the Indy 11 could be in a playoff position. Again, after today, there are still 27 matches left to play.
Yeah, it's a good thing that 2 points were taken off Lou City. But Pittsburgh is on an absolute tear, and I would have never guessed that Dane Kelly and Bob Lilly would have made a great marriage.
Anywhere that Dane Kelly goes tends to work out well for that team. You take Detroit City out of that top 4, it is the typical who's who in the East. Lou City, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, the Indy 11 trying to inch closer to that group. They could be in 5th if they pull all 3 points from today. Stay tuned. More around the USL Championship when we come back as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer from downtown Indianapolis here on MyIndy TV and ESPN+. Once again, halftime on this early Sunday evening. Indy 11, the defending USL Cup champion, Orange County. We continue our look around the entirety of the USL, and not just the championship, but we start with the team of the week. You will notice Nicky Law was a part of it, based on his goal and his assist from last week. But Ben Lunt, a player we saw a couple, 3 years ago, playing for Lou City, had a fantastic performance for Phoenix Rising. And Phoenix, it's always about the goals, but they got a really good goalkeeper this year in net in Phoenix, as they have now won 4 consecutive matches.
Absolutely. And you mentioned with Nicky Law the goal and the assist, but there was brilliance every time he touched the ball.
News and notes around the USL Championship. The USL is now available on Konami. I wish I was cool enough to tell you about gaming platforms. I'm not that guy. Open Cup success. A tremendous week for both the championship and League One. We will dive further into that in a moment. And this reminder, the USLW League begins its first season of play here in Indianapolis. The first match in league history is the Indy 11 women against Kings Hammer FC inside at Grand Park a week from this coming Friday. Tickets are just $8 unless you are an Indy 11 season ticket holder. Then it's absolutely free.
Get out there and support Indy. Come on.
Indy11.com. Click on the W League tab. Now, with that, let's get to the great week that was for the championship in the U.S. Open Cup, and let's just limit it to guys that used to work for the Indy 11. We referenced Detroit City. Trevor James, his team is on to round number 4. They'll take on Lou City coming up the second week of May. How about our buddy Jordan Farr? 2 dying moment saves from the seat of his pants.
I'll tell you what, one of the great things about that is you show the genetics of a goalkeeper. His legs were being held down by a player. He makes himself big and just says, yeah, you got to get it by me.
The man that Tim Hankinson lovingly called El Raton, leading goal scoring club history, Ayman Zayed, after they beat Colorado Springs in round 2, they go to Real Salt Lake and beat an MLS side. They are on to round number 4 before they have ever played a home match in franchise history.
Unreal. And if you follow him on Twitter, you can sense the excitement with every tweet.
Ayman Zayed, the head coach. Owen Von Williams is the goalkeeping coach. I'm telling you now, folks, I'm making a trip to watch him play on June 22nd. You're all welcome to come with me. When we come back, we'll have highlights, stats, and a conversation with Indy 11 head coach Mark Lowry. It comes your way next. Halftime show rolls looking for this here on My Indy TV and ESPN+. We're about 90 seconds away from the start of half number 2, and graciously the head coach of the Indy 11, Mark Lowry, standing by for us. So quickly, let's get your thoughts, Mark, on half number 1 from your team.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was a really disappointing goal. That's the main focus. That's a poor goal to give away. Mishat should have gone ahead. AJ should have dropped. AJ ends up leaving his mark, going to being too aggressive on it and left someone free. They're pretty big up there, so they're going to win their fair share of aerial balls. We have to deal with that better. That's a poor goal to give away from our back four. But other than that, I think it's a good goal from Jonas. He was onside from what I saw, and some action in their box towards the end. We were pushing, and we've just got to continue that this half.
All right, as expected, Ayo goes the first 45 minutes. Manuel Arteaga will go the second 45. What do you expect from Manu?
Energy, goals, chances. He's a threat in the box. So we've got to get the ball in the box to him now and get him in those positions to score his goals, because this is a game that we're not going to lose.
Coach, thank you very much. Mark Lowry, kind enough to join us at halftime, and we've got highlights to show you from half number 1 as well, and we'll show you the goal from Orange County. We'll show you the offside that may not have been against Jonas Fjellberg, but how about a bit of skill from Raul Aguilera to set up the first true Indy 11 chance?
That's just brilliant. And that touch pass from Cochran, unbelievable from a big center back.
Equal brilliance from Kobe Henry to boot that ball away. Again, the miscue at the back. Kaningas cashes in for the game's only goal so far.
Yeah, a couple miscues. One, you got to deny the serve, and if you're not going to deny the serve, you've got to be able to win that ball in the back line. And like Coach said, you got to have cover in behind the pressing defender.
And take a look at the edge of the 18. Again, if he's off by a smidge. Great job by our guys in replay to freeze it right there. Villanueva, did he play Fjellberg onside? Close from that angle. The man that had the best look at it was the assistant referee. Flag went up immediately.
Yeah, and if you're Indy, you're frustrated by this. You had the PK missed call last week. You have this one that, you can argue is another missed call. And at some point, the game in life, it's about balance. At some point, they'll start falling for you, but you hate to see them slip off the board.
So again, as expected, we have a substitution. We talked about it with Mark Lowry, but just to make it official, our substitution's brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Manuel Arteaga in, Ioze out. And again, when Manu entered last week, while there was a goal, there were chances aplenty for the Indy 11. Now let's talk tactics. How do you line up differently, if at all, for Indy?
Well, I really like Fjellberg out on the left right now. He brings such pace and creativity out there. It'll be interesting to see, you got Ioze being more of a hold-up playmaker from that spot. Now you got a guy that can attack into that wing. So is Orange County going to be ready for a different look out of that spot? If he can get through, that both Pino and Arteaga are going to find the spot in the box for him to slot it to.
Sports this match presented by our Central Indiana Honda dealers, Hackshaw the read, Hackshaw on the charge. Fjellberg to his left. Neville plays him forward. Kasipli over to get in his hip pocket. Fjellberg.
Oh, wow.
Weaving through the minefield. Ingram, give and go, Fjellberg.
Ah! My goodness.
I think you described the situation perfectly. Your voice matched the face of Mark Lowry.
Oh, as a coach, you're so excited. You're looking at, hey, here's the equalizer right here. He's done a fantastic job to create an opportunity. Little give and go. He frees himself up, collects it perfectly. And then instead of a slotted ball, you got two guys slashing inside the 6. You take a shot from there. He'll want that one back. He'll want that one back.
And that is Kobe Henry's got to be careful. He's playing on a yellow. That was not a yellow-worthy foul, but you have the attention of the referee. Quick restart. Fjellberg sends it in, and that is a corner.
You saw after the foul, the referee just puts his hand to his pocket. That's a nonverbal warning that says, okay, you're on that watch list.
Nicky Law heads the corner flag. By the way, the Indy 11 have 3 subs remaining that they can use. Orange County has the full complement of 5. Law on assists last week, looks for one here. Big sweeping, bending ball, and Indy had nobody sitting in that corner. Ingram didn't hit that the way he wanted to, but off Velasquez, and a throw-in coming in the 48th minute.
Yeah, and that wind is so strong, you wonder if the thought behind that was, let me just put it up in the air, head it towards the box, and see what happens.
Read by Gorski. Here's Ingram.
Ingram
couldn't slide it through.
I like that thought, though. Pino making a slashing run across the 18. Ingram looks to slot him through.
Indy has largely been a second-half team this year. All but 2 of their goals have come in the second stanza, including both in their victory 2 weeks ago against RGV.
Aguilera brings 2 defenders to him, opens up the space for Ingram, and instead of playing that ball back, breaks the line.
Fjellberg and Arteaga working on the combination play. Arteaga wins the shoulder-to-shoulder challenge.
Touch.
It's Aguilera. Now McQueen. McQueen headed down, but Rakowski was waiting on it from Stefano Pino.
And that's one that I think you get a little excited to try and put it on frame. That was one Nicky Law is making a run right in front of you, where you can have a little head ball right into the path of Nicky Law, who's making that off-the-shoulder run, going to wind up right at the edge of the 6.
And Nicky's face also matched what you just said as far as that description. Let's thank our friends at Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.
Nicky Law's letting him know, hey, I'm there. He walks in.
Those are 2 guys that have played a lot of football together.
Pino's so good in the air, too, that making that run off of him is effective because he's going to draw the defenders to him because he's such a scoring threat.
Kaningas, Hackshaw. Didn't play that the way he wanted to. Still several bodies behind the ball for Indy. Now Peterson. Peterson gave it a hit. Aguilera got in the way.
Good ball.
Ball played across. Wow. Dangerous ball back post. Last touch by Indy. It will be a corner. Here from the near side, corner flag for Orange County.
And a little miscommunication there. Cochran gets up and he's like, hey, and Panico says it's my ball, but it's got to be called. They've got to be on the same page. And I know with the wind, it changes the read.
By the way, Noah Powder is already by the 4th official. So a 3rd sub coming in sooner rather than later for Indy. Corner kick coming. The ball sent in. Indy got there first. McCabe lines it up. Not sure that was McCabe's intention. Worked out very well. Nervy moments here. Was there a touch there for Indy? Yes. Kaningas.
Great win by Timmer. It is so tough with this wind to be able to read that well. The longer it hangs up in the wind, too, the more direction it changes.
Kaningas will take his time going to the corner flag to restart this one.
He's going to try and kill 40 minutes on this corner kick.
Of course, this match brought to us by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. Keystone, we build a vision. The left-footed end swinger from the Finn. Hackshaw won it. Simply settles. And Kaningas either thought he was not onside yet or was thinking about his homeland or something else, because that ball was not that far from him, and he just kind of stood silently there.
He probably was thinking about the trivia that you put in the first half, because he might have thought also that Finland was part of Scandinavia.
Well, Powder is coming in because Nicky Law has said enough is enough. So Nicky is going to be an early exit for Indy, and you never like to see that.
No.
And they've had some quality players exit the pitch. One of those planned in Ioze, but in the first 50-plus minutes. So Powder in. Law will have a seat. Here comes Noah Powder, the veteran of 100 appearances here in the USL Championship. And much like Neville Hackshaw, represents Trinidad and Tobago. So Powder in, Law out.
Well, you got, there's roles. You divide the roles. And when you got your playmakers in the field, then you've got opportunities for the defenders to defend and the forwards to make those slashing runs, and you hope the playmakers can find that lane and find that place to slot the ball. And when you take 2 of those off the board, you got Aguilera, who's a nice playmaker in the middle of the field. But everybody's got to assume a little bit of that role now.
Arteaga with the win. And plays it behind Fjellberg. Fjellberg immediately puts his hand up and says, hey, my fault.
He's got to see the pressure coming on Arteaga and know that he doesn't have the lane to slip Fjellberg in. He's got to hold off his shoulder, and be ready for a ball that they can possess.
Opportunity here for Orange County. Aguilera trying to get that ball off of Oakley.
He's a player. He is a player.
He will work that ball towards the corner flag for Villanueva. Peterson sends it in.
Wow.
It just steered wide.
Great ball by Peterson. Just out of the range of Panico. Wow.
By the way, we've been thinking about this for the entirety of the match. My partner is the unofficial Indianapolis ambassador to Denmark.
That is correct.
So you want to say something to the folks in Denmark that could be watching on YouTube after Peterson's exquisite service?
Velkommen til Indianapolis i fantastiske danskere og tillykke med fødselsdagen.
I'm not sure what that means. We'll try to translate in a matter of moments. Pino providing a spark. Henry couldn't stop him. Powder taps it home. Noah Powder just came into the match and scores his first Indy 11 goal. Cue the smoke in minute number 54. And we're all tied up at 1. If you can speak more Danish, that works out well for the broadcast.
What a ball by Pino. He doesn't give up on it. It looks like it's going out. He collects it in the corner. Tight ropes, the end line, slots the ball in. This is a situation as a coach, when you just sub somebody in and they score, you look like a genius.
And Kobe Henry again just committed too much. Pino, the crafty veteran, and Rakowski, nothing he could do. Credit Powder for having the presence of mind to tap it home. All level with still a lot of match left to play. And obviously you see there is a tribute that Noah Powder had underneath his kit. He's shown the yellow for taking off the jersey. In case you didn't see it on camera, it said R.I.P. Jamal. We will have Noah on the post-match show and let him speak as to what the meaning of that was for him. But congratulations, Noah Powder. He does get the yellow for the celebration / remembrance, but most importantly, we're all tied up in a goal apiece. And frankly, we felt this would be kind of a multiple goal style of game. Let's face it, we got a Western Conference team versus a coach and a team that now has more of a Western Conference philosophy. Brad and I have been calling games in the Eastern Conference now for the last 5 years. You would think every Eastern Conference match is played 1-0 and every Western Conference match is 6-5. The way we talk about things from time to time, but we kind of had a feeling the winning team would have at least 2 in this match. And that's exactly where we are.
Well, you take a look at the flow of this game, and it's very direct. Both teams bypassing the midfield a lot, and because of that, you're going to be playing the ball in both boxes. And the lion's share of this game is going to be in each team's defensive third.
Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Nice sliding tackle by Olowski. Powder dispossesses Peterson. Powder gives it a hit with his left foot. He had Arteaga to his right. He had Fjellberg to his left. He called his own number, immediately put his hands up, said, hey, my mistake.
Yep, and you know what? You've been in those moments as an athlete where you feel like you're on and you feel like the ball is going to do exactly what you want. You get a little bit overexcited sometimes and you make some plays where you trust yourself a little too much. And all it takes is one opportunity like that. He puts his hands up, he's grounded again, and the next time he plays that ball out to one of his supporting players.
Reference the fact that Powder plays for Trinidad and Tobago, but he is originally from New Jersey. He grew up playing in the Red Bulls Academy. This is his 6th match for Indy this season. 2nd as a sub. Neville Hackshaw looks for anybody in orange close to him, and there was not. By the way, we want to thank a couple of young ladies from Speedway High School that were in the booth with us for the first 50-plus minutes of the match. A couple of potential aspiring broadcasters and a couple of soccer players, too. Thanks to Evelyn Luevanos and Ella Custer for stopping by the broadcast booth today. Peterson tries to poke the hole in the clouds on that one. Aguilera finds the window of space to hit up McQueen. Yeah, not the clearance that Gorski was wanting. Just reminder, fans, that Indy 11 Premium Suites is the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Powder.
I'm going to tell you, very similar to the end of the last match. Mark Lowry is inspiring the guys faster, 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 because he recognizes the momentum is on their side, the energy's on their side. Can they get another one here before it starts to settle back in?
At this point, Powder is like the basketball player that hits his first three-pointer.
Yep.
He's going to shoot at least 5 more the next few times down the floor. He's had 2 shots towards goal since his opening tally of the match. He spent last year Real Monarchs. Kowski. It's Hackshaw that got there first. Gorski swings back to midfield. Offside flag is up. Olaski came from an offside position. Olaski, part of a set of 3 brothers that all played last year in the USL Championship. 2 of them currently on the Orange County roster.
Oh, great ball.
And Fjellberg sneak behind, no. And Henry pivots and knocks it away.
Good things happen when you get that first ball into Pino and you have runners coming off.
And Torres had to break off the run. There was no question he was offside on that one. There's been a lot that has happened since you broke into Danish on the broadcast.
Yes.
So can you translate now for someone that unfortunately does not speak Danish, such as myself?
I'd be happy to. Welcome to Indianapolis.
That part I got.
You fantastic Danes, and happy birthday.
Is today Denmark's like Independence Day?
No, but I know how to say happy birthday.
Oh, that's what you know.
So I just threw it in there.
So let's explain. My partner played a year professionally in Denmark and is married to a wonderful Danish woman, Charlotte.
Well done. It's you.
And you have 2 very Danish-looking children that thankfully take after her and not you.
And I'll tell you what, when they were younger, it was like, I don't want to be half Danish, half American.
Queen, walked away by Villanueva. Please continue.
But they've embraced it as adults now. My son actually bought, what is it called, Babbel. He wants to learn Danish, so he's sitting with mom, learning on Babbel. Here we go.
Mark Lowry liking the effort of his team. It's Noah Powder that will take the corner from the near side corner flag. Tiaga outside the 6. Cochran and Timmer lined up. 61st minute. Powder gives it a go. Bending ball. Back post. Timmer couldn't get to it. Kaningas got there just in time. And then Fjellberg applying pressure. Keeps the attack going. Able to shed McCabe and find Arteaga. Aguilera. Timmer. Now Ingro.
Well, I tell you, Fjellberg is so dangerous with no space.
Tried to find McQueen. That ball went more towards goal than originally was planned. Out of the jam comes Orange County. Bet Rivers Fans is the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet Rivers, bet with a winner. Torres got to head to it, but it will trickle across the byline for an Elliott Panico goal kick. A pair of substitutions. Talking to Coach Earnshaw, one of Chapelow's able assistants. Roca will be one of them. And an eyeball yet on the second. They brought 1 less player. They only dressed 17 today in Orange County. Panico.
Good win.
Pino the flick to Powder. Powder. And Gorski with, he puts his hands up as if, what did I do? Well, you put your right arm around Powder to hold him up. I'm sure Hunter and his Stanford education knew exactly what he did.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you're playing 6 of one, half dozen the other. You let him go, he's going to have a serve through the runner play, and you foul him, and he's going to have a serve from a dead ball.
That was a foul, not a card. That was well adjudicated by our match referee. Queen and Powder. Looks like it'll be Powder. Nope. McQueen. Good service. Pino didn't get the header to he wanted. Rakowski scrambling over to track it down.
He wins just about every ball in the air. Wow, what a counter.
Panico lines it up. Austin could not get there in time. That other sub, by the way, Kevin Partita is about to enter. The young man that finished last season with the Indy 11. So Roca and Partita will be the first substitutions that Richard Chaplow will play today.
Okay, Orange County, Indianapolis trivia. This NFL quarterback from Orange County had a brother that played lineman at DePaul University.
NFL quarterback had a brother that played football at DePaul University, which for those outside of Indianapolis Division III, my partner is the men's soccer coach there. NFL quarterback, can I get a hint in terms of window of time or like team the quarterback played for?
In college, he was a USC quarterback.
McQueen lifts it over Gorski. To his left has Pino. Pino a knee. Rakowski got big. Feldberg got a boot to it. Rakowski a punch. Well done by Rakowski. Now looking for Arteaga, back post.
Get him.
Knotted down and in. The Indy 11 have a go-ahead goal. One more time. Cue the smoke, and Indy is in front.
Arteaga making things happen again, just minutes after he enters the game.
Back-to-back goals by the Indy 11. Again, credit Rakowski. That could have been a goal on 3 or 4 different occasions. Eventually it was, and if it's Stefano Pino, it's his 4th in an Indy 11 uniform.
I'll tell you, and it's frustrating as a goalkeeper. You're running around the box, you're solving a problem here, you're solving a problem there, and then all of a sudden, it still gets in.
Stefano Pino still owes the Indy 11 5 more goals. He has scored 9 against the team. He has now scored 4 for the team. His first in front of the BYB, and here come the substitutions. McCabe and Peterson will exit. Roca and Partita will enter. Let's talk about Kevin Partita. Kevin played at UNLV, is from Sparks, Nevada. Had a knee injury late in 2020 that cost him most of 2021. It's why he was available when the team needed additional players late in the 2021 season. I thought Kevin Partita was really good in a short number of games, 6 to be precise for the Indy 11.
He was fantastic. A lot of energy, creative in that spot. You know, you take a look, and very similar to what Indy got from Tyler Gibson in that role. A lot of energy, a lot of consistent possession play.
Let's tell you about Tony Roca. He'll turn 29 in August. He has spent part of the last 6 seasons in Major League Soccer with Orlando City and NYCFC. 56 total appearances for Tony. Played collegiately in Tulsa, represents Belize internationally, even though he is from Texas. Roca making his 5th appearance of the season. The substitutions, as always, presented by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. It is a mixture of raindrops and sunshine right now. And given the gust of wind, that cold front might be getting closer. We had a brief downpour, not downpour is too strong. We had a brief period of rain before the match. And yet we knew that rain was going to be here at some point. As you can tell by the drops on the camera, that time is now. Timmer shepherding that ball across the touchline, 11th throw in. Albie Skendi ready to enter Orange County as their 3rd substitution. In rain, you can deal with. The stormier variety that's expected at some point, that's we hope holds off. Alaski, Kaningas, Oakley.
A good step by Cochran.
Knocks it back to Gorski.
Trouble.
Feldberg makes the step. Finds Pino. Now who's going to support Pino?
Oh.
The answer is Feldberg. Feldberg, well defended. And guess who? Kevin Partita. The fresh legs of Partita on to make the play for Orange County.
What a little side of the foot flick from Pino into space.
Again, Pino, a fantastic player ever since he made the move to the States. North American Soccer League, played for Fort Lauderdale, Minnesota, and Miami FC. Briefly spent time in Major League Soccer. Eggs of the country waved on. Skendi will come in and replace Eric Torres. Third substitution made by Orange County. Skendi, born in Albania. As a youth, spent time in Greece and England. And much like Alex McQueen for Indy, has spent a lot of time playing outside of the top 4 divisions in England. Last played for Yeovil Town in England. 9 goals in 73 matches, and Skendi stands out because he is 6'6". Here's Villanueva. First touch for Skendi. Cast a long shadow as the sun pokes back out here at Carroll Stadium. Alaski tried to get through the 18, but could not maintain possession before it crossed along the byline. Goal kick coming. Ari Spriggs about to enter. Just reminder, fans, you can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. 70th minute. That is important.
Yes, it is.
In case it does storm. Now, again, right now as we look to the west and kind of the south, the clouds kind of appear to part, so hopefully we'll play a full 90. But once you get past 70, the match becomes official. And there is a rainbow. Time to get the PR folks out. There's a rainbow over downtown Indianapolis that is now to our left as you're looking at this match.
You look with Briggs coming in, he comes in for Fjellberg, and then they drop Pino back into that outside mid-roll.
Throw in coming for Alex McQueen. By the way, that substitution, Brittany, brought to us by Jiffy Lube. Fjellberg done. Foul called against Roca as Arteaga goes to ground. Indy trying to make it 5 consecutive matches without a loss, trying to make it 3 consecutive matches with a win. If they can hold this 2-1 advantage, it would be one of 4 teams in the league, if this result holds, to have won at least 3 consecutive matches. San Antonio, Phoenix, and Detroit City. Not in danger yet. Arteaga jumps over Roca, deemed to commit the foul.
Same thing from the first half. We've gotten it wrong, all of them. It's not possible.
1 sub left for Indy, 2 remaining for Orange County. We met and Michael, by the way, the 2 field players left available. So Trilk, the backup goalkeeper for Indy today.
Oh, clever.
Aguilera has not factored into a goal, but his skill has been on display all afternoon.
He's so important to build through because no amount of pressure threatens his ability to hold the ball. Tough foul. You got McQueen in there as cover. You got Ingram kind of tucked in. So you got the numbers.
Row! Close with Justin, yep.
Just reminder, fans, watch Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. Able to watch the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock news and Sports Locker in between. Wish TV right here on My Indy TV coming up at 10:30.
What do you think the target will be here?
Ball sent in. The answer ended up being Alex McQueen. That was not the design of the play. Skendi next to who you're looking for. Villanueva steps up.
What a touch.
Powder got in the way. And on the bounding ball, Arteaga takes a tumble. We play on. Cochran a clearance. And then a foul against either Arteaga or Aguilera. It's Arteaga. will allow Orange County to reset.
Just one little assistance for us would be great.
This match is far from over.
You don't like all these restarts.
Ball sent in. That'll be a foul against Skendi. He knocked over Timmer. There are a few players that tower over Timmer. Skendi is one of them.
Good night.
Fans, don't miss a minute of the action in 2022. Your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at ESPNplus.espn.com. Villanueva sweeps it away. I know for certain we actually have viewers either in San Antonio or Oregon today.
Yeah.
I know we have viewers all across the globe, but
we do.
Especially on a Sunday when most of the league plays on a Saturday. This is the first Indy 11 home Sunday match as Arteaga goes down on the turf. No whistle.
Good decision.
This is not a usual home date for the Indy 11 on Sunday. They'll do it again in September. First time they have played a Sunday home match back to August of 2019.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. The last time they played a home match.
Where do you hold those stats in that head of yours? How do you do that?
Well, I don't have any hair.
It's pushed all the hair.
Absolutely.
Push the roots out.
Yep, all gone. I have more facts about the Oakland roots. I actually have roots about my hair.
You're incredible.
Ingram lost it. Skendi takes it away. He's got Oloski to his left. Slides it through. Kaningas, right idea. Just put too much on it.
It's a great thought. Just overhit the ball.
And let's face it, on a natural grass surface, maybe that's the perfectly weighted ball. On turf, it tends to skip a little bit more.
And if, maybe you've been in the game for 20, 30 minutes and you've been able to adjust a little bit to it, but coming right off the bench and trying to adjust to it is difficult.
A little wind behind him as well didn't hurt that from the Indy 11 perspective. Legs collide. Ball finds Oloski. Referee said nothing in it. Oloski got tripped up, but I don't think it was intentionally tripped up. Hence the no whistle applied there.
Trouble.
Overlapping run coming.
I'm starting to think of that break.
Knocked forward. Tiaga finds Briggs.
Oh.
Briggs did not hit that ball the way he wanted to.
Right idea.
Fourth substitution. Making his way to the fourth official. Brent Richards will enter the fray momentarily for Orange County.
Nice touch.
Clearly, the match is starting to tilt to the visitors now. Dangerous ball here. Skendi could not settle. Trying to step on it and keep it in play.
Mark in the box!
Queen does just enough.
Well defended.
Cochran plays it sideways. Let's take this moment while we have a breath or two. We need to reference a player that ties these two franchises together. Thomas Enevoldsen. Ball gets through. Ask for a handball. It will be a handball against Orange County. Thomas scored 20 goals for Orange County in 2018. Played for the Indy 11 in 2019. Finished his career with a championship with Orange County last year.
Say it.
And retired.
There's one more fact.
Played in the World Cup for Denmark as well.
Okay. All right.
Did I get everything I needed?
You got it all. You saved that last. You're just kind of baiting me. You were throwing a line in the water to see if I'd ask for the Danish reference. I fell for it.
Cleberson, Gerardo Torrado, and now Thomas Enevoldsen, as in players that have played for the Indy 11 and made an appearance in the World Cup. Arteaga, Briggs, Villanueva, play it sideways. Richards has yet to make his way to the fourth official. We'll enter a match when he does. Today's match presented in part by the Hyatt Place in Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. Powder
Oh, well, way to break the press.
I left a trivia question out there. Have you ever had a chance to give me a hint on that NFL quarterback question? Because a pesky goal got in the way for the
Okay,
NFL.
I can give you a massive hint or a slight hint.
Slight.
Jets.
Mark Sanchez's brother played at DePaul University.
Yep. Well done.
Was the massive hit butt fumble? Is that the
That was the massive hit. The butt fumble was the massive hit.
If you just tuned in, you're like, what in the world are they talking about?
We cover all things from international, like tonight, we've done geography. We've been able to fill in people on where Scandinavia actually is.
And when we cover all things, many of them are rather unimportant, frankly.
Oh, I think the Finns and the Danes.
Not that part. No, not that part. Okay. I'm just saying some of the things we're talking about.
Some of them.
Hackshaw will hit the reset button here for Indy. Teams have 8 sub remaining. Richard's appearance presented by Chippy Lube of Indiana into the match. It's Villanueva, the player that he is in for. Again, you and I both impressed by Villanueva today.
Very, very much so.
Timmer snaps it forward. Partita got fouled by Cotter.
Tough. No reason for those fouls. You got him on their defensive half of the field. His back is to the field to play. You keep giving him looks like this. You got a 6'6" target forward in the box.
Gorski sends it in. Read by Cochran. The lift by Aguilera. Aguilera elects for possession. The 1-goal lead, that's never a bad thing.
Okay, here's one I'm excited for. This Ben Davis grad scored 71 goals for UCLA and then another, I think, 24 for the national team.
That would be Lauren Cheney, now Holiday.
Kaboom! Had to do that with the W League starting.
Lauren Cheney, one of 2 Marion County representatives on the U.S. Women's National Team, Lori Lindsay being the other from Pike High School.
It's just ridiculous when I give you a trivia question that you have more trivia than I even anticipated on the question. Good call.
Professor Drew Holiday, of course, played basketball at UCLA as well, now in the NBA.
Who's a pusher for him?
Correct. He was the Holiday brother that did not play for the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, that's a nice ball. Oh, clever touch.
Losky, she's off of Timmer. Corner coming.
And you look, he was just trying to slip that ball past Timmer. He knew he had a couple of runs slashing into the 6, was just trying to give them a chance. Timmer approaches with the perfect angle.
Skendi, certainly a target. Oakley can be as well. Kobe Henry coming up to get in the mix here too. 7 inside of the 18 for Orange County. Dingus sends it in. Big ball that the wind affected that one. Mother Nature did the Indy 11 a solid on that one. Tonight's match presented in part by the Morales Group's staffing agencies find jobs. We build future. What will it take for the Indy 11 to see this one out, partner?
You got to stop. You got to stop senseless fouls in the middle third and in your defensive third. You just got to defend correctly. That just means staying on your toes, moving your feet well. If you can hold the ball too, that's going to help.
Cleared off of Noah Powder.
Now you got to figure there's another 2-3 minutes added time on here. You got 10 minutes you got to navigate. It's better to navigate with the ball. You mark that down. That is a fact.
Aguilera. Now Powder. Kaninga slides it through opportunity here.
I like that thought. I like that thought.
Give it go between Oakley and Roca. Timmer gets in the way.
Just keep trying to free Oakley.
get back. Quick. Yes.
They can go back again.
Deemed to commit the foul. And I would think that McQueen and Skendi might know each other because they've played at similar levels of English football. Anytime I can get Yeoviltown and Dagenham and Redbridge in the same broadcast, I feel like I've accomplished something. And that's where those two guys both spent time playing.
10 years from now, you're going to recall that fact on some obscure broadcast somewhere.
Or just in the conversations of my own mind. Throw-in coming here for Orange County in minute number 84.
It'd be frightening to have access to those conversations.
She's off the end of Arteaga. Finds his way to Justin Ingram. Aguilera the target. Henry gets in the way. Putting in a full shift today for the Indy 11. Team high 4th goal for Pino. Your Indy 11 player has more than one so far this year. With Powder joining that group. Aguilera, Law, and Briggs for the last couple of weeks.
Arteaga's got a full quiver, but you know he's going to empty that this season.
You would hope that by next Saturday against Hartford, might be the match that Arteaga gets his first start of the year. Ganingas able to track it down.
Covering behind him. Don't leave him on an island.
McQueen. Ganingas goes down. Not enough there. No. Not enough in that. Ganingas is a step in front of him. Different story. Shoulder to shoulder. You're not going to get that. Final 5 minutes plus stopping time presented by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
AJ, focus! You got it, baby. You got
Had
it,
the earlier goal tally. Foul called behind the play. Go against Noah Powder. What exactly? I'm not sure.
Guys, he goes forward.
That frankly slows things down to the benefit of the Indy 11, to be honest with you.
Oh, good turn. Little misread defensively. You just want to stay behind the ball.
Pacho able to clear it. Arteaga knocks it forward. He's got Gorski to his right. Two runners adding into the mix. Arteaga on the cutback. Lead for Powder. Powder's left foot deflected. Briggs trying to carve out some space. But Briggs deemed to have been in an offside position when he tried to play that ball. We have seen more offside flags in this game than I think we have seen the entire year combined.
They play right on the edge. You gotta like it.
Anything else Arteaga could have done in this situation, Brad?
I think he had the early ball in behind it, prior to this, in this moment. I think he had the early ball in behind the back line.
While we're showing that replay, a foul between the midfield stripe and the 18-yard box at the other end goes against Orange County. Now you're at the time frame of shave 10 or 15 seconds off of every restart. The Indy 11 perspective. Briggs. Now Powder.
Keep the ball moving. Keep it moving.
Again, well done by Partita. Locally. The giveaway here. Aguilera's job is to hold things up. Hartford Athletic comes in here on Saturday night. They've got just 1 point so far this year.
They You asked about what you need to do to kill the game. It's hold the ball, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to hold the ball individually. Hold it as a team. So there are times you see the guy take a guy on or take an extra touch, and kill a little bit more time. But you got players that you can knock it around with that are good supporting positions that allow you to maintain possession as a team.
Again, today has been Faith and Family Night here at Carroll Stadium, presented by the good folks at He Gets Us. Tonight's game presented to you by radical ideas like loving your enemies, your neighbors, and yourself unconditionally. Find out more at HeGetsUs.com. Let's talk to Jason Vanderground about that campaign this week on Soccer Saturday. Thank them for their support of the broadcast. While trying to find Powder, found the back of the feet of Gorski instead. He had committed some numbers forward. Tiago deemed it for either foul. Whistle blows. And the whistle, frankly, beneficial to the Indy 11. Now a card will be shown to Aguilera. And Aguilera's got to be careful in terms of yellow card accumulation. He got a red earlier this year, so he's sitting on now at least 3 yellows for the season.
His value every game has just increased. You never want to see a kid off down.
He now has 3 for the year. He's hadn't missed one in his first few matches.
These Pumas got still here. 90 minutes on his legs.
Aguilera gets changed, and again, anything sideways, anything backwards right now is a win for the Indy 11. Towards the 4th official. 3 minutes of added time. Not much left in this one. Dominguez plays it across. Panico. Flag went up. Would not have mattered. Panico never had to make a play on it. That was setting up to be a nervy moment for sure for the Indy 11 fans. But as has so often been the case today, the best defender going in either direction has been the offside flag.
Yeah, and you've got to be careful. You keep leaving McQueen out on an island with no cover behind him. And Dominguez keeps taking him on, either having the early serve because McQueen's got to drop off of him, or in trying to take him to the end line, look for a slotted ball across the box.
Panico. Arteaga. Powder. Briggs. Arteaga on the charge. Has Powder to his right. Plays Pino to his left. Is it a goal? It's a corner flag. It ends up being Briggs. Got to it! Runs his way through a goal. And for a second, he can roll a stoppage time fine for Aries Briggs. Through that smoke, one more time. 3 second-half goals for the Indy 11, and all 3 points are going to go to the boys in blue.
I tell you what, that is just hustle. You called it perfectly, just running through that ball, running it into the back of the net.
He might have hit that with both boots and might have got a hip on it. He got a hug from Mark Lowry by the corner flag. We take a look here. Hits it once, hits it twice. 2 goals as many weekends. All smiles for the young men from Memphis, and make it 3 straight match wins for the Indy 11 with seconds left to go in this one. To up the score button this one for the Indy 11.
I know they're out. I think they sent somebody out to go grab another canister.
First match with 3 goals scored for the Indy 11 this season. So, aiming to filter. Orange County will continue to battle. Olaski went to ground, but referee said not enough there. Not are able to keep it in play. Maybe 60 seconds left to go in this match. Frankly, Orange County played better than the final score would indicate. This was always going to be a tough match for them once they reached the 3rd round of the Open Cup. They had to play the LA Galaxy in midweek and then make the long trip across the country. This is a good team. Once they get all of the pieces together, they're going to be just fine. From the Indy 11 perspective, That day was not today. Indy 11 trailed by a goal at halftime. They end up winning by 2. Final score this afternoon, Indy 11-3 and Orange County 1. A happy day for the home fans, and it is very early in this season. But the Indy 11, for the first time this year, are in a playoff position. They now climb to 5th in the USL's Eastern Conference standings.
And I'll tell you what, the energy, the optimism, the confidence, everything is tilted towards the 11 right now.
So handshakes and hugs continuing for the Indy 11. And Nabil Hackshall telling his teammates, fellas, let's go celebrate in front of where those flags are, the Brickyard Battalion. Stay tuned. We'll wrap up our broadcast on ESPN Plus. This reminder, the Central Indiana Honduras postgame show presented by Bet Rivers comes your way until 8 o'clock on My Indy TV. But your final score in this one, Indy 11-3, Orange County 1. Back with final thoughts on today's game in a moment. You're watching on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. For those of you watching on ESPN Plus, this is our final segment with your final score brought to us by Sherwin-Williams. More than 25 locations across Indianapolis. Your neighborhood paint store is always there to provide the perfect finish. It does not get more perfect for the Indy 11 than 3 second-half goals. 3 matches won in a row, and all 3 points belong to the boys in blue. A quick check of our post-match stats. And other than the goals scored, the numbers were virtually identical in half number 1. Again, largely the numbers identical other than the top 3 lines. Goals, shots, and shots on target. What do the Indy 11 do so well to create those chances in half number 2?
Well, it was part of that, but you take a look at the difference in what we've talked about in the statistics after the last few games, where there've been a volume of shots, but not a lot of volume of shots on target. So big change tonight when you've got about 50% on target of the shots that you took, but then a 50% conversion rate on those shots.
Let's point this out. These 3 victories in a row for the Indy 11. They have scored 6 second-half goals. And the way their subs have played in the last 2 weeks, that catches your attention about the depth of this team.
And I tell you what, the way to come from behind, too, is such an emotional builder.
We're going to talk to a key player for the day's victory and head coach Mark Lowry after this short timeout. For those who are on ESPN Plus, we bid you a fond farewell in Indianapolis. Post-match coverage continues on My Indy TV. Goals for Noah Powder, Stefano Pino, and Ari Spriggs. 3 straight victories for the Indy 11. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Plus and on My Indy TV.